Hi everybody, Jake here for FMSCOUT, and in today's video we're going to be showing you guys how you can make FM22 more realistic, more of a challenge, and overall, maybe more of an enjoyable game. Hi everybody, Jake here for FMSCOUT, and as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be looking at ways to make your FM22 game, one, more realistic, and also in some cases, potentially more challenging for you people that say Football Manager is too easy, if you're winning too many titles, maybe this can add an extra level of difficulty to your game should you want to. So we're going to get right on with the video, but before we do, I just want to ask you guys, if you enjoy this video, if you find it useful, hit the like button, comment down below if you use any of these downloadable add-ons, or let us know which of these you're planning to use after watching this video, and if you haven't already, then subscribe to the channel as we try and get 130,000 subscribers before the end of the year. With that being said, let's get right into it. So as you can see, we are here on FMSCOUT with the How to Make Football Manager 22 More Realistic article. I'll link this down below, and what it is, it's a list of downloadable add-ons that you can add into Football Manager, all very simply to be honest, which will then change how you play the game and will add that extra level of immersion and detail into your saves. Now there's many on here that you can pick and choose from, and this article will regularly get updated, I'm sure. There are things that aren't on here yet that were on FM21, for example. On FM21 there was realistic injuries and things like that, and that will come with time, but right now this is what we've got on here, and there is still plenty to pick from. So for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to look through a few of my favourites and then show you the outcome of some of those in game once we've installed them. But as I did mention, they're all pretty simple, and I'm not going to go through installation instructions for each one because they're all written on the individual articles that are linked. Some of these changes are going to be pretty minor graphical changes, which we're going to start with, which I think just add that extra level of immersion to the game. Now one of my favourites is the first one here. I've not just picked it because it's the first one. This is one that I always try and install, and I find that without it, you probably don't ever think about trophies, but once you've installed it once, you'll want it again and again because it just adds an extra level of detail into your save. So if we click into this download, you can see there are 1,230, well just over that many, trophies you can quickly install into your game, and it means when you go into the club history page, you'll actually see the realistic trophies of the Champions League, the Premier League, but it's not just that, you've got your Bundesliga, your German Cups, the Pokal is it called. It's even detailed with historical trophies and trophies from divisions you might not have even thought about or ever seen the trophies from. So there's plenty of detail added from this, and it just means when you check out a club's history, it just adds an extra sense of immersion. If you've brought a club up from nothing to greatness, you can see their trophy cabinet in full glory and how it actually looks, and it is just really cool. I love it. It's something that I always try and install, so I'd suggest you guys do it too. Now that is one of my favourites, but there's plenty more to get into, so let's move on to a few of the others. Some other graphical changes that you might want, which will just add that extra sense of immersion, as I did mention, are colour changes to competition, so they feel more in line with what they should be. There's also really easy add-ons to install that will make your match engine experience more immersive. There's a pack where you can install enhanced turf textures which make the grass in the game look more realistic. There's a realistic weather pack where realistic weather patterns from real life, real data, has been used to try and replicate that in Football Manager to make the weather seem more realistic, more natural. Then one of my favourites, which I've never installed but I'm definitely considering doing it, I never knew it existed until I clicked onto this page, and that is the match engine commentary pack. So what this does is it adds actual real life commentary into your match engine experience. I've never tried it and I'm very interested in trying it out, and it's Peter Drury as well, who is arguably one of the best commentators around. So when you're actually in your match engine experience, you're going to get him saying things and actually commentating over your game. Apparently it's taken 3 years to create all of these audio samples to fit them into the game and to put them at the right point. So I think that's really interesting. If anyone has ever thought about having match commentary or has ever actually tried this, do let me know how it is, because I genuinely might install this. Never done it before, but it could be very interesting. So there's another thing that I think is really cool. Outside of this, there's some other add-ons that can really add to that immersion in-game. For example, the real name license fix, which we spoke about before. It means that your Juventuses will be Juventus and not Zebra. The Brazilian teams will have the real names and not the fake Brazilian names, and it just means you won't get pulled out of the game when you see a zebra. It doesn't feel right. You guys have all had that, I'm sure. It also adds competition and awards, so you actually have your Ballon d'Or. The Champions League will be called the Champions League. All of that just brings an extra sense of depth to the game. There's plenty more things we can look at here. The transfer update, which is regularly updated. I know this is one that's very popular during January before the game releases. The winter update pack, a lot of people want to get it as early as possible after the January transfer window. There's club finance finance fixes, there's improved salary values and sponsors. These will adjust the market value of players in game to accurately represent how the real life transfer market and transfer fees show up in game. And there's plenty of other things that we could look into and take a big interest in: updated agents, real life agents, real life career plans, relationships, abilities and personalities, which use real life events and data to accurately represent those players in game. There's alternate youth ratings to fix the youth ratings of certain nationalities, because for some reason in Football Manager some nations have a really high youth rating and some are really low, when you could argue they really shouldn't be. So installing this pack will adjust that for you. There's league reputation fixes, club reputation fixes, plenty we could go into, and as I say, it depends when you're watching this, but there might be more added to it as time goes on. That's what happened last year, and we had some really cool add-ons and features come in that made the game more realistic. But one of my favourites, and the one that I'm going to show you today, is one that I believe will make the game a lot more challenging, and that is a Star Attributes FM22 skin. What this does is it removes the numerical values on attributes from 1 to 20 and it covers it up with a star. So by looking at the star rating, you can still get a feel for if your player is quick or slow, where his strengths lie, where his weaknesses lie, but you can't accurately pinpoint it down to the value between 1 and 20 like you can in the normal game. Most people would agree that you wouldn't be able to pinpoint that down in a player, just see exactly out of 20 how good he is from a scout report. That doesn't really make sense. And whilst of course that works well for Football Manager and it's nice to see attribute ratings, if you do want to get rid of that and make your game a little bit more immersive and definitely a lot harder to tell whether you're going to get a good player or a bad player when you try and sign someone, then installing this star rating pack, as you can see here, as opposed to the numerical values, you're going to get these stars, which, I mean, it's a lot harder to read whether a player is good or bad, and that could mean you'll get a lot more signings wrong, and the idea is that that will accurately represent how a manager would be in real life. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to install this, quickly hop over to FM22, and we can have a look at how it looks in-game and just show it off and see what you guys think of it. Okay everyone, here we are in FM22 to take a look at the star rating skin, and I'm also going to quickly show you what the trophies mega pack looks like as well. But if anyone's interested, we are here in my Wolfsburg save, which we're about to start a series on my channel, which you can find linked in the description. Hasn't started yet, so if you want to come on board, it would be great if you could subscribe and maybe check out the first episode of the Wolfsburg series, see what you think of it, and if you want to stick around, then that would be awesome. I'm trying to hit 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year. A little bit ambitious, but if you can help me towards that, that will be great. So here we are with Wolfsburg, and yeah, I'll quickly show you. If we go to who's going to have a big trophy cabinet, Bayern Munich, I'm sure. If we go to overview, this is what the updated trophy pack looks like, which I really like. Like I did mention, it's something that you probably never even think about, but then when you go and actually install it in your game, it does look so cool, so much more realistic and satisfying, I think, when you can see the trophy cabinet looking in all its glory, how it would in the stadium. And I think it's a lot better than the generic like plate and cup icons that you would have in Football Manager normally. If we go over to another club, sorry, let me just put Liverpool in, because I know I'm not a Liverpool fan, but Liverpool do have a massive trophy cabinet. There you go, you can see all the things they've won: Sky Bet Championship with the accurate Sky Bet Championship trophy, the Carabao Cup with the real Carabao Cup trophy, and yeah, it's just really cool. I think it's an extra level of detail that it's just a lot more satisfying when you go onto your club page. And like I say, if you go and upgrade a club from the bottom division to the top division and you build that trophy cabinet up yourself, you're really going to enjoy looking at it when you get to the end of your save and you're looking back, or if you just want a little bit of an ego boost. But yeah, let's go and have a look at some of our Wolfsburg players and how using this skin would affect me as a manager if I was going to use it, and how it could make this game a lot more realistic and challenging. So if I go on to Jerome Roussillon, for example, here, we get this page come up. So instead of the numerical values between 1 and 20, we've got stars. Obviously the green stars look like they're the best, and the yellows look like they're standard green attributes, I think. So by looking at this page, yes, I can get an understanding that Roussillon seems to be quick, pretty good mentally, decent technicals for the areas that we need him to be, and he's got decent physicals too. But what I can't tell is how quick he is, how much acceleration he has. Is that 11? Is it 14? I don't know. Does he have really good first touch with 13, 14, or is that just a 10, 11? I can't figure it out. And this would accurately represent how you would view a player in real life as a manager. You could tell by looking at him in training and looking at him in a match and looking at videos of him, okay, we know that Jerome is going to be a quick technical fullback for us, but what you can't tell is when he hits a long shot, does he have 15 long shots, 4 long shots, 5 long shots? You can get a general view of it by looking at the star, but you can't tell. And I think this just adds an extra level of challenge to your game. If anyone has used this or is interested in using it, let me know your thoughts on it down below. I think it's quite a cool concept if you are trying to make the game harder, if you're finding it too easy. So hopefully today's video has given you a few things to potentially look at to make your game more realistic and more challenging. But feel free to keep an eye on that page over the course of FM22. More things will be added to it, and I'm sure they'll all be just as cool. Maybe we'll make a follow-up video once it gets updated a little bit in the future. But if you did enjoy it, don't forget to drop a like on the video, and I hope you all have a great day, guys. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.